Hey everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. It's panel time, and Link is on its way. I was watching MH370 videos, and I got sucked into watching them. The ones that I watched before, I got sucked into watching them again, and I was rewatching parts of the first show. So, one second, let me get some links thrown out there. Links are on the way. Sorry about that. I got looking at the thing. Got looking at the other videos. Okay. Okay, link is on its way. It should already be there by now because of the lag. Sorry about that. I got sucked in watching the videos on this stuff, you know? So I think it's gonna be me and you, Lynn. I think it's gonna be it. I know Keith was not. Sounds good. Sound check. Sounds good. Thanks, boss. Appreciate it. And yeah, link is sent. So she should be clicking in any moment now. I know Keith didn't have a show earlier today, so I didn't send Keith a link. Shout out Keith Andrews. Link lives in the description. Go like and subscribe. I know he was having a busy day today. I not really sure why, but I just saw that no show today. I'm like, all right. Take care of you, bro. So yeah, we were talking about MH370, and it is still after 10 years. Nobody knows what it is. Monty brought up some good links. Links in the description of tonight's show, of some debunking videos, but there was more than just video involved. There was much more than video involved. There are cell phone investigations happening right now. That's something else. All those people had, most of them had cell phones. It is just a society we live in nowadays. So, like I said in there, as of 6 months ago, the phones were still pinging. Some of them were still pinging. None of them should be pinging. 10 years, right? Oh no. Okay. He lost the internet. All right. Well, Keith lost internet, so there was no show today. The All right. No big deal. Hey Renee, welcome back. Thanks for coming by. And who we got in the chat? Aussie Tiger, Sarah Stafford, OB2, Lynn, Storm, Renee. All right. We are all here. Oh, you lost internet. Okay. Welcome to the panel of me. So here we go. Oh, no, it's not going to be the panel of me after all. Hey, Lynn.
Hi. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. I had a very slow day today. I was exhausted. The week exhausted me. The last 2 days exhausted me. So I didn't do hardly nothing today. I had a list of stuff to do, and I didn't do none of it. I barely did any of it. I didn't even go to the grocery store. I'm going to have to wing it all week. That's okay.
Hang in there a second.
Okay. But yeah, next week is my birthday, and I'm giving myself new window tinting on my red car. That's what I'm doing for myself.
There we go.
I'm okay. Yeah, next week is my birthday, so I'm giving myself new window tinting on my red car
Awesome.
because I can't see out of it. It's 20 years old.
I'll tell you, mine's not that old, and I have to replace the tinting on a couple of the windows. But you know how it is here. It's so bright, and
Yeah.
the sun just tears up stuff.
Yeah, the first 10 years of its life, it lived in El Paso. So it's got the same
Oh,
sun.
it knows.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure that stunted the development of the tent from Korea. It's a Hyundai, so and it's a safety issue at this point. During
Yeah.
the day, everything is blurry. At night, you can see headlights. It's like going through the woods in the wintertime. So I need to get my tent redone. I'm just getting
Oh,
factory
yeah.
stock, and I'm
I don't
getting
know. I'm
factory.
going to attempt to do it myself.
Good luck. I don't even want to mess with it. I don't even. I saw the process. I don't even want to mess with it. You got to buy alcohol. You got to wash it with alcohol, and you got to make sure it's. I'll pay somebody,
I,
and
I
it's
have I
expensive.
have two people here that live here who have nothing to do.
Y'all gonna learn now. You're
That's what they get
pick,
for being idle around me.
you're gonna pick up a new trade.
Yeah, really. No, I think it's something that my son wanted to learn how to do, and I'm like, no time like the present.
Yeah, go for it. I'm. I don't have time to. One day out of the week, I am idle and not days on end. I work like I work. I'm
Nathan, you
busy.
are not idle. You are
Nah,
always
I'm.
doing something.
Yeah.
I know you.
Hey, Human Jim, welcome back to the Quantum Panel. What are we talking about right now? I'm talking about getting my windows tinted at the moment, but I'm kind of talking about MH370, and it's 10 years since that happened. Do you know
Three
what I'm?
three
Do you know what I'm?
seventy, 380.
370, MH370, Malaysia Flight 370.
Okay.
Are you familiar with it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it
I
has
am
kind of.
since the last program.
Okay. Okay.
That
Well,
doesn't
it's
make me a pro by any stretch of the imagination. I remember
right.
things happening at that time. I remember there not being any. They found nothing of them.
No, and then when they did find something, it was 3 months. It was, I think, 3 months later, thousands of miles away.
Yeah.
What? No, and it didn't even match. It was not the amount that a plane would leave of a
Well,
crashed airplane. It was not the amount. They found it
it
in Africa.
it was a plant.
Yeah, it
It
was a.
was.
Well, here's something you can get away from this now because we don't want to talk about it, and nobody wants to talk about it. Ashton Forbes drilled deep. Something that he found out was I'm referring to Ashton's webpage, link in the description,
Right. Now
about
I'm not so familiar with, but I would think that someone as intelligent as he looks would not have bothered with a couple of guys or comedians.
oh yeah, I think that was an agent move for him to be on the Twins pod, right? I think
The
somebody
agent
said
said yes when he should have said, "Oh hell no."
right that it's not their speed of
Yeah,
stuff
no. If they were just
because
one, they were had deer in the headlight look. They had no clue what was going on. They were not prepared at all for him and not prepared for a subject, which
this
is
is
sad. That's very unprofessional.
well, it's out of their realm. And
Yeah.
just like if I was to talk about, if I was to get a medical advisor on here with a PhD, I would be out of my element and I would be like,
I
I
wouldn't be.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know about
I
that stuff.
wouldn't be.
Okay,
Not at
well,
all.
I'll let you host that show. Okay. If that ever happens, you can host it that
And
time.
if nothing else, I'll get Storm with me because
Right.
he won't be intimidated by a medical
Well,
professional know-how.
I'm not intimidated by it. I just don't know anything about it. I know about corruption, I know about human nature, and I know a little bit about the what do we call it? The harvesting programs going
Yeah,
on because
yeah.
nobody wants to admit to that stuff.
Oh no, they don't.
Either either reproductive or organ.
You know,
And
a lot of medical professionals look at it as being a bunch of mystical nonsense, but you gotta realize these guys are shut up in a hospital all day long. They go they go from there, they may go to their office. They're in their office for at least 4 to 5 hours, maybe six, doing doing care notes. and
Yeah.
then they might get to go home and kiss their wife,
Yeah.
or their
Yeah,
husband. And
yeah, the industry has them locked in, occupied. You got to do this. You got to do
yes,
this.
and they
They're
must do it. They must do it completely.
right.
And they
Oh yeah,
are not as informed maybe as they'd like to be. Even their own medical reading suffers because of it.
yeah. And you can. These people are so these doctors. They get so honed in on their specialty, they
Mhm,
forget about everything else. They forget that surgeons. Okay,
mhm.
my ex's surgeon was so locked in on one thing. We gave him ideas, and what do you know? He went and did some of them, and I'm like, well, thanks for the
Exactly.
credit, bro. Ah,
Well, we've had to be our own advocate
right,
many times. I mean, you know very little about all that, but it was uh, it was either advocate for ourselves or end up with one of us dead.
right,
And it was a simple matter of understanding what the heck was going on.
yeah,
Fortunately, Storm's not just good with tech. He started off with he wanted to be a doctor, and he decided to stop because he knew that he and the AMA would butt heads.
right.
So
Yeah,
there it
well,
is.
if I was to get more into this tech field, that me and the IEEE would have words too, and they would just probably Boeing eyes me
Yeah, maybe.
because they don't want to talk about mercury, they don't want to talk about hydrogen, they don't want to talk about any of that stuff. Oh, something I brought up about MH370. This is tell me if you know this lesson, right? Okay, I believe we both had this lesson, and it was so cut off at the knees, right?
Mm-hmm.
And pardon my silly drawing, right? These are two waves. Can you see it okay?
Yeah. I'll
These are
just
two waves that will cancel.
I'll look kind of dark here for a second, but I'm gonna blow you up. Yes.
Okay. Two waves approaching each other that cancel each other out, and apparently they disappear. That violates physics as we know it.
That's right.
Ma- in matter, energy cannot. Turns out they're not disappearing. They're going into subspace, for lack of a better term. Okay. You now
Okay.
we have both heard this lesson. Two waves of energy. Two now here's
Like
the
so,
punchline.
except that they just kind of go nothing.
They cancel each other out, and you end up here's the punchline with a wave of peace. That's wrong. That's incorrect. We've both heard this lesson, and I now can it never sounded right. Now I have some kind of scientific documentation showing it's not right. It doesn't disappear. It goes into another state of reality that we are not in. It goes into subspace. It goes into dark matter universe. It's
It's a
crazy.
quantum thing.
It is
That's what it
oh,
amounts
it
to.
is the quintessential quantum thing. It doesn't disappear. Nothing disappears.
Well,
It
energy
changes.
can't.
Nah, it goes into a different state of being, into the dark. It pushes itself. That's what happened with that plane, according to Ashton. Those orbs going around. Let me do another
So
demonstration. Go
all
ahead.
of yeah, I remember the demonstration. So the energy that went around that plane so fast, I'm sure it happened extraordinarily fast. Was the irresistible force met the immovable object,
N- not
or met another irresistible force?
yes. You know what? I can actually say yes and no. Okay. Now this is another horrible drawing, right? You have the airplane. You have it going into those three in the circling of those three orbs.
Right.
Now, if
Now,
these
was
three
that
orbs,
set? Do you think the three orbs were set up as a trap for it, or
no,
was it something there anyhow, or they just kind of accidentally met each other?
oh, there was nothing accidental about it. This was totally on. Uh, this was okay. This is horrible again, right? Now, airplane. Those are the circles, the orbs
Right,
going
right.
around in a circle, and they're constantly traveling in this way. Now, as the plane is traveling, they're going around it like this.
Clockwise or counterclockwise?
It's unclear on the video.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. But it's also doing this, right? So if this is
Mm-hmm.
your plane,
So it's almost a circular motion that this thing is hit.
yes, orbular. It is moving through 3 dimensions: height, width, length, distance, right?
Mm.
Plus time.
Destroyed it, didn't it?
It did not destroy it. Well, if it did destroy it, we don't know that. What
Well,
it did
my
was
biggest thing with that was that there was lithium in that plane.
right.
I think
That
quite an amount of it.
right. They were
And
shipping lithium.
that stuff is so unstable and funny. And
Right.
then you have it in battery form, which is more unstable. And now you've got a flying bomb.
Right. And what I believe happened, I have seen now I talked about it in the first hour. You could take any cell phone and if you
Yeah,
hit it hard enough, like run it over with a heavy car
right.
or not a Hyundai, because done it, it don't hurt. Hyundai doesn't hurt it. Maybe a F-250 will, right?
Well, something with some bulk to it.
Right. Something heavy hits that phone, that battery will have a runaway reaction. The lithium will become unstable again, and plates that were supposed to stay separated are no longer separated. They're fire, big fire.
Oh yeah, big
And
time.
what I'm thinking happened with
For such a small
MH370,
little thing, but that had a lot of fuel to do
yeah,
this to it.
500 pounds worth of lithium ion batteries. Don't know the packaging, don't know the quantities. I don't need to. But what I'm believing what happened was uh there was now what he said was there was a fire. They went down. They went low altitude in order to vent the smoke and get some oxygen in there to
Right?
vent the smoke, but it's a lithium ion fire that is not going out.
No.
So, but at the same time, these things show up and start circling the airplane. Okay, start circling the airplane, and that further large electromagnetic interference can also large. I'm talking large electromagnetic, not get your get your phone next
No,
to
I
your
got
screen.
it. Really
Big.
huge. Big
They were
enough to
causing
engulf that airplane.
they were causing a very large electromagnetic interference. It further messed with those batteries in the hold, and I don't know if it's hard to say because shortly seconds after these things show up, they go and it's hard to see in the videos. Okay, now there's more than just videos I'm looking at. The balls are in this sphere, in this circle going around it, right? But then at
Hmm.
the very last minute, they go like that. There isn't a, they can come together in front of the plane. It's hard to see that, but it happens. And instead of an explosion to the physical video, it is gone. But on thermal, it went black, endothermic. It sucked in heat. It got really cold really quick in that small, relatively small area to engulf the
They
seven.
imploded?
It didn't implode. There would still be it would still be wreckage. It
Right. But if
it dropped.
it vaporized,
It didn't vaporize. There was no trace. Even if you take something and you put it under a 1,000-watt laser and vaporize it, aluminum, you can do that to aluminum. You will
I
have gases.
I have a thought.
Go ahead.
Now, 10 years ago, did they not start the collider in Switzerland?
It was longer than 10 years ago. That was like
But
oh
that
02.
collider's been in business for some time.
Yes.
I wonder if that had something to do with it.
I
It's a
have
black
not
hole of
found
sorts.
it is. I have not found any evidence towards that end.
Okay.
Here's what. The endothermic reaction says heat went somewhere. It didn't go out. There was no explosion. That's an exothermic, right? Exothermic, heat out. Very bright.
Yeah.
Endothermic, heat in. Where did it
But
go?
why would it do that even?
That's a great question.
Or was
Because
there something on that plane we don't know about?
probably that's one theory that I heard Ashton actually talking about. That there was something on that airplane that they didn't want getting to where it was going. And there was sabotage, but then there was this stuff happen, right? This was
Right,
unexpected.
right. That would I don't know how they could orchestrate something that large.
No,
You know, they just simply it would take I don't know what. I
right.
really don't. I'm just sitting here thinking, was it possible that it was another uh a jet or something else? But that doesn't make sense because that's not what the report was.
The report, many reports, because now, at some point in time, Ashton went through and was FOIA requesting the cell phone records.
Yeah,
They're not available.
I can
That's
imagine.
strange. That's
Well,
strange.
that how many people were actually on that flight? Do we know?
277.
And they're all gone, every
Yep.
single one of them.
And most of them had cell phones and they are still active. A lot of them are still active. 10
The
years.
number is active, or the phone itself
The
is.
number, the phone itself, a few of them are still active. How many, show of hands, have y'all missed a payment and it stayed on?
Not
Nobody?
ever. Not ever.
Nobody.
Not happening.
Right
Somebody
there.
paying the bill. Why?
Right. Somebody, right. And the majority of them were on for months after. What? How does that work? Who is doing that? If they're gone, what were they paying from the other side? Probably. Now, okay, there
Well,
are
no, I can see where family would keep them on in
right
the in
remote
the
payment,
remote hope that.
automatic payment, but the
Well, I can
phone,
see where a family member would hope against hope to hear from them.
right.
You know,
But then again, that's the account being active. These phones are still pinging, but they are not saying where. They stopped saying where years ago, but they are still active. The phones themselves. And I'm like,
they
whoa,
get a
hold
portal
up.
of some kind, and
It was a portal. It was
it
a
had to
portal.
be a portal.
And
Yeah,
remember,
but there's Sarah saying as much.
remember that, right? It didn't go into nothing. It went into another
Well, our own physics say that
frequency.
energy does not go away.
Right. It doesn't, it only changes form.
Energy is energy. It just changes.
Yeah. And this is
But I'm
another thing
wondering,
about
if
reality.
they did find it and looked at everything and was like, what in the heck happened here? And kept it absolutely quiet so it wouldn't wreck the airplane industry.
Oh, okay. Now, from what I listened with Ashton in several interviews, I mean, I'm dreaming about Ashton Forbes at this point, right?
Oh
That
boy, you need to get out more.
yeah, that what he was saying was they were using a technology so far advanced that they can't. This is the free energy stuff, the 0 point energy, specifically 0 point energy, not quantum link. That's a spiritual thing, but 0 point energy that Keith talks about, right?
Hmm.
That they have that, they use that, and they cannot release it because
Who
it would
is
wreck our
they?
society. The
Who is
government,
they? Okay.
government.
Yeah,
Yeah, hey,
I'm
hey,
kind of a stickler for that.
yeah,
Let's talk about who is who.
yeah. Hey, Woo Riders, welcome back. Yeah, he
A
is
lot of
an
people don't.
interesting. He is an interesting. He is an interesting character, but he's
Yeah,
not like some Ivy League trained high up researcher.
I can
He
only
figured it
talk
out.
about certain things here.
Right. He did a few FOIA requests. I'm sure that the FOIA guy for ufology is out there helping him out some. I can't remember his name. Greenstreet, Stephen Greenstreet.
Mhm.
He no, he doesn't like. Well, again, he's a human, and he's got his context bias, just like
Yeah,
all of us. And
yeah. I
he's
mean, some if you have a theory on something and you're attached to it, you're not gonna want somebody to say, "No, I don't think so." You know, you
right.
just
I mean,
don't.
it's just a reaction. It's just a human thing. And yeah, disagree. That's cool. Woo! We're all wackadoos here. This is the Quantum Show. All of us. We've got the craziest experiences.
As I was gonna say, aren't you stating the obvious?
Yeah, and hey, Woo.
Oh well,
In other words, he
a
belongs
woo's
here,
cool.
right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, all of
This
this
is
is fine. It doesn't have to be one direction here by a long shot.
yeah, and it's just hold on, I'm fielding comments and things. Um,
It's not just him though. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have worked on a certain theory for years upon years, and having somebody pull a rug out from under it, there goes years upon years of study.
yeah, well, that happens to all of us.
Oh yeah.
Even the ones who are proved correct in the end, Tesla, right?
Right, right.
And who did the church put in jail for saying the earth is round? That the earth
Galileo?
orbits around the
Was
sun?
it Galileo or was it
Galileo.
Isaac Newton?
That was Galileo.
It was
Isaac Newton did a
Galileo, I
bunch of
think.
other stuff. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Galileo. And but yeah, uh I have had that happen, right?
sure.
Because I run across things in just toy stuff and whatever, right? Like the bendiness of plastic. It's it, and that it's a hobby versus it's a business versus it's whatever.
An
Just any field of
obsession or
study.
some other
Right,
word people like.
any field of study, anything like that. Sure, I'm gonna have my methods of doing stuff, and I'm not gonna want people to go in and yell at me that you're doing it wrong. That's happened before, and I failed because I took their route when I didn't understand it, and I should have taken my route that I did understand, and I would have learned anyway. I would have learned
Yeah,
along.
but I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind if someone else is wrong either.
No,
You
being
know,
wrong is how we get to
it's
right.
it's how you figure it all out.
Yeah, and I choose to let my mistakes guide me to the right things, not stay. st- My ego,
Stagnant. Yeah.
yeah, doesn't say do this anyway because that's your way. Well, if it's wrong, it's wrong. I'm not gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna be. Thanks for letting me know. I'm on the path
When
to
when
right
you get stuck like that and you refuse to move and become stoic or static in your approach, you're no longer open minded. You're no
and you're
longer teachable,
right,
and
and you
you're going to
can't
come down before a fall real fast.
yeah, I'm not gonna let I what did Yoda say? Failure. Failure is the best teacher.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Star Wars. Star Wars hits it on the head sometimes. And
Quite often, actually.
yeah, and this here in this show, this is not a political statement. This is since we deal with science like that, MH370 is a great example. It was so quashed, gag ordered
Oh,
that
yes.
nobody wants to talk about it
Well, let's
officially.
see. 10 years ago was 2015, right?
Well, it went in March 2014.
It's all right. March 2014. Uh, what else was happening at that time? You know, I mean, 14, we're looking at Obama was president. Um, there was something of a period of prosperity, although everyone didn't enjoy it. There was still a little bit coldness between China and ourselves,
Okay,
and some of the rest of them.
here I
So,
just googled it. Right, what happened in
okay,
2014? Uh, Gaza war, Gaza Strip, Ebola virus broke out in West Africa. Scottish independence referendum. A lot of this stuff, just things happening, right? Rosetta
right.
spacecraft landed on a comet. Remember that? The guy with the tattoos?
Mm-hmm.
He landed that thing on a comet. Of course, socio-political crap all around the place.
That's usually not an indicator of what's going on.
No.
Not truthful what's going on.
Mm-mm.
Scientific stuff. Is there any of that going on?
Yeah, first on the list was Malaysia Airlines Flight 370.
Yeah.
And then scientifically, Ebola virus in West Africa.
So other distractions. What happened ahead of that?
I'm looking.
The lithium batteries were just beginning to
2014, they had been out by then. They were
they've been out,
I
yes, but they
iPads.
hadn't been used as much as they are now.
No. Oh, here we go. 2014, between 2014 and 2015. Oh, okay. Seasoned pilots in the U.S. Navy experienced a number of harrowing encounters with UFOs during training missions.
Ah, there we are.
They weren't
Now we're
UFOs, Joe.
starting to cover some of it.
It was us. But there were other things, right?
Yeah.
There were Essex, England, 2014. Okay, and I'm googling, right? You know what? We just stop talking about it and just start showing you. Why am I doing this? What kind of host? Bad host.
Naughty host. No, no.
That's not it either. Hey, here we go. Now I can show you. What am I doing? Quit. Okay. Now I know it's going to be hard for people to see, but I'm. Matter of fact, let me just do this. Take us off the screen for a minute, and I can talk while I navigate. Showing results for what happened 2014 ufology. And I'm spelled, let me just do that. Pentagon UFO videos. Clear. Yep, that would be the thimble tic tac and go fast. Gimbal tic
Mhm.
tac and go fast. And by the way, those
Don't forget the fleet
that was
was
it.
followed.
That's what they were talking about.
Okay.
UFO report that was 2024 in Essex. List of reported. I just looked ufology, right? CBS News talking about 2014. Some U.S. Navy pilots reported seeing UFOs while training over the East Coast in 2014-15. That's my coast, East Coast. That's my coast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm closer to that coast than anything. Along Israel, Egypt
I'm
border
I'm on
in
the southern
2014.
coast. Lots of water. There are lots of sand here, but no water.
Right, southern west coast. Oh yeah, no water.
Lots of beach, but no water.
Here's the Independent from now in 2022. I'll go ahead and bring this up. 3 U.S. Army veterans claim they saw UFOs along Israel-Egypt border in 2014. I will just read aloud. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. Here's where I'm taking a note. Okay, this is for after the show, but I'm going to take a note of. See what I'm doing here? See what I'm doing here? I'm copying. I took the URL already, so I'm putting this on my note here for after the show. 3 former U.S. Army veterans have claimed to have seen unidentified flying objects along the Israel-Egypt border in Sinai Peninsula in 2014. 3 veterans have said they saw 8 objects in the sky that were hovering and speeding while they were at an outpost in Sinai on the Egyptian border around December 2014. The 3 claimed they were told to keep your mouth shut. These comments come as Congress holds its first hearings into UFOs in half a century. By the way, November 13th, I'm getting my windows tinted and UFO conference congressional hearing. I love it. What a birthday. Sergeant Travis Bingham, E4 specialist. That's a overpaid private, right?
Yeah.
Special E4. E4 is not a sergeant. Anyway,
No.
I don't know what that's a mistake on their part. They're British. I forgive them, right? Specialist Vishal Singh and Private First Class. Why don't they just say PFC or E3?
They may
Dovell
not know
Ingram.
too.
They don't know. Dovell Ingram were all stationed near the south end of the Israel-Egypt border in 2014 when they claimed they saw objects of the sky of non-human origin. First, they don't have enough information to say non-human. Okay. They don't have enough information to say non-human. Okay, I would describe it as being a big object with several smaller objects which appear to be communicating or scuffling like a dogfight in the air, said one of the 3, Sergeant Bingham, 36, Sergeant E4 Bingham, whatever.
Baffling.
Yeah,
As in
30.
banging off each other or what?
That's, I don't know, scuffling? He said maybe he's using the wrong words. Not scuffling, but like a dogfight, like he said. Like a dogfight in the air. Or maybe,
picture a dog fight. And
yeah,
what are we talking about? A dog fight of like World War One, or are we
World
talking
War II.
about a
Like
regular dog fight?
World
World War
War II.
II had them too.
Right. Let's just go with the World War II version because, well, they've made a lot of movies of them. And we have a good mental image of that kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
if
true.
you have now. Let's see an object. Now he said 8. I don't think he said 8. I think he said.
I thought it was 8.
I thought he said 8 too. I'm rereading. When I saw objects in the sky of non-human origin. First of all, they don't know. They don't have enough information to say non-human origin. If they were to see a Boeing jet, Aurora, they wouldn't know what it was because they don't have enough information. So they might say it's alien. It looks alien too.
Mm.
It doesn't say 8. It says somebody said 8.
I would have
Okay.
swore you said 8.
I said 8 at some point. What am I looking at?
Yeah, it must have been way at the top.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Where am I?
8, 6,
I'll go
who
ahead.
cares?
Yeah, a bunch. A lot of objects.
There's
And
a hassle of them.
he said a dogfight, but if he wasn't looking at them for very long, he may not have been able to define any kind of pattern. And when I think of patterns and I think of UFOs, I think a lot about according to
And seeing
MH370.
patterns from the ground is so much different than looking at them from the sky. You know,
Yes.
then you're looking at a tornado doing its thing. The only time it looks like it's not moving is when it's coming straight at you. But it's an optical illusion because that thing's making for you and nothing flat.
Right. And I'm going to continue just going over the this article, right? I'm not going to bring it on screen or nothing. And it said they're moving like fireflies left, right, up and down. They were turning everywhere instantaneously. They must have been 30,000 feet high. Okay. With MH370, when people first saw those globes going around the plane, they said something like that. They said they didn't. It's hard to realize that the plane is moving in one way and these things are going around it like this, right?
That's right.
So and like that is gimbal motion, okay? When they're moving around like that, and you're seeing them all, it looks random.
Well, sure
And
would. It would do it, a novice for sure.
yeah, Ashton said it too. He said like that thing they built in Contact.
The movie, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get a picture up for it. That thing, the gimbal looking thing, the
Mm-hmm.
ugh. I should. Nope. Yeah. Okay, that'll work. I just gotta get it. It's always the hard way. Always the hard way. Okay. And where are we here? Let me stop sharing, present, share screen, another picture. There. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's something similar. Now, in this toy, this is a thing you can buy on some website, right?
Looks like a gyroscope.
Right. A gyroscope. Each one of those rings fits inside the other ring, and they all have something going around it. Yeah, I remember the quote, "Why build one for a billion when you can build two for only twice the price?" You forgot a word. Only twice the price.
Sounds like something from George Carlin.
And it's real. But this is, you have ring, 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 right? Not a spiral, but rings.
Yeah.
And each one is moving on its own axis, and each one has a thing going around it. In the movie, that's what was being
And
shown.
I'm wondering if that's not exactly what they saw and what they hit.
It wasn't a hit. And Ashton goes on that this is where I don't understand it. And Hodge twins, we both left them a long time at the beginning of the interview, but he said that you don't need a physical thing when you can use just the plasma, because something else he said, and I've talked about this before, the Bell X2 broke the sound barrier. Remember? Bell X2. If you would, I'm going to show another thing. I have to clean up some windows here. Sorry.
That's all good.
Okay. This is perfect. Let me see if I can make this work. Yeah, this is fine. I can do this. I'm going to show now. If we're not familiar, this is the Bell X2. Let me hide your comment there. And now I want to draw your attention. Now, this is something that we have kept going, right? Look at the very nose cone of this airplane.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rod on the top of that, on the nose,
It
going
goes
forward.
straight out. Mm-hmm.
Now, what that is doing, it is forming huh, uh, a plasma shield around. Now, I don't mean like Star Trek shield. Mm? I don't mean like Star Trek shield,
Okay.
but it is forming a plasma shield over the skin, the leading edges of that airplane. And what it's doing is it's making the air more liquid. Because what happens when you go supersonic, ultrasonic, the friction of the air against a material gets so high, there's so much heat, it melts the material.
Right.
We don't make planes out of stuff that can the Mach 2, Mach 3, Mach 4. Our planes don't do that. What they do is they all have some kind of little thing creating that to make the air more fluid, because when you have any surface going through the air, it is like slamming against it until it goes around the object. It slams against it and it goes one way or
So
another.
this goes along the outer edges to break the wind before the plane actually hits it.
Not break the wind, make the it see this
Liquefy
is
it.
fluid dynamics and electrostatic. Oh my god, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's why not everybody does this. um, what that little thing is doing is it's creating such a harsh magnetic field that it's causing magnetic plasma invisible to us because it's not visible light spectrum, right? But it spreads along the airplane and helps the air move over it faster and before it disperses back into the air. I don't know how else to say it. I shouldn't.
It makes mass less massy.
It no, it makes the water, it makes the air thinner. It makes the air thinner.
So I can
So
cut through it easier.
right, and there's like the SR-71 does it. The all these fighter jets that we have it, they do it because we figured out how to do it in the 50s. The Bell
Mm-hmm.
X1, the Bell X2, and it is really freaking cool science.
So this is military stuff.
Hmm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and they figured out you don't need a physical thing to create that electromagnetic effect if you can just get the plasma there instead. And that's what they did with MH370, according to Ashton Forbes. But then he pinged some science that I'm not familiar with, portal tech, wave tech, going into
And
dark matter.
how much of that is conjecture and
From what he said, none of it. He was quoting sources from
wow.
science papers. So,
Wow.
okay, but yeah, Aussie is correct. When you see a bunch of antennas sticking out in front of, like, remember the space shuttle Enterprise?
Mm-hmm.
It's always shown as being on back of the 747 with that long pole in front of it. That
Yep.
long pole was to measure airspeed. It was not the same deal. Now, what
No, it's
Aussie's
not.
talking about is I can vouch for this. Okay, most antennas on the front of a jet records speed or temperature or position or something. There's a sensor or an emitter on the. I work in aircraft maintenance. I've learned these things. Correct, very correct. However, Bell X2, it didn't. It had some of those little ones, but when you see those little ones, they're not this long. They're this long, or there's something like this.
Yeah.
I'm up on top of these planes every day, right? They're about like this. The only big ones they won't talk to you about. We had
No.
some top secret shit run through a couple times, right? They wouldn't tell us
No,
about it.
no,
They said,
nothing
"Don't
from
go over
nothing.
there. Don't go over there." They said, "Don't go to that part of the plane. Don't take that panel off. Don't do this. Don't do that, or we'll sue you." And
Well, and who needs that? So you leave it alone.
right. And yeah, we've had some top secret stuff roll through the garage a couple times. And I'm luckily there. Oh, I love it. When one of those planes came through, I told all the jokes. Okay. I thought I was going to take some of these random electronic bits. I think I've told this story. Stuff them in a bag, make a parts tag, and say, uh, what chemtrail release switch, and just leave them sitting around or give them away as birthday
Blinker,
presents.
you put a blinker fluid in there.
Something, one of them things, right? One of them things. Yeah, it was gonna be something like that. But what Aussie says is most antennas on the front of jet records the speed or position or temperature correct.
Oh yeah.
Very correct. But not all of them. And not on the bell.
And some of them have a whole different function, and they're just there to. They're there for a whole different purpose.
Yeah, some of them are Wi-Fi. Totally. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it, right? Some of them are Wi-Fi antennas, but not all of them. And a Bell X1, X2, SR71, no, they don't have Wi-Fi on that guy. And it's actually called that effect. I'm gonna bring it up. Called the Biefield Brown effect. Okay, and let me. That is the Biefield Brown effect. Bringing it up. I'm bringing up the Google search right now. I'll just bring up the Google search. And I will read it because it's hard to read on our lovely screen.
Thank
The
you.
Biefield Brown effect is an electrical phenomenon that occurs when a high voltage is applied to an asymmetric capacitor, causing a force towards the smaller electrode.
Okay.
Visually, I'm about to run out of another book, y'all. We're on volume 2 of 2024, or volume 3 of 2024.
You should journal
And,
some of that stuff.
oh, I am. Every bit of it. Okay, now I'm going to quickly.
So while we're here and you're doing that, like and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum.
Thank you. This is a horrible rendition of an airplane. Electrical, and then here's the high
Good night,
voltage.
Sarah. You have a good evening. Give Tim
Have
our love and take a whole big scoop for yourself, honey.
Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for being here, Sarah. And this goes out the airplane. Okay. Now this is going to be now. Let me see here. Further on Google, some theories have proposed that the Biefield Brown effect is an anti-gravitation or space warp effect. However, more recent researchers attribute the effect to a unicharge ion wind. That's the speculative part, okay? Electrostatic forces. Two electrostatic forces are needed for the Biefield Brown effect to take place. Neutral fluid. A neutral fluid is needed for the Biefield Brown effect to take place. Ionic wind. An applied electric field generates ions within the neutral fluid. The ions collide with the neutral fluid molecules, generating an ionic wind. Okay.
I wonder, something just came across my mind, and of course, I'm a free thinker, but we have a lot of wind stream that it's like a atmospheric river. That's what I'm looking for. And
Mhm.
I wonder if some other things couldn't be carried much the same way.
Yeah. This is more
Yeah.
a good visual representation. Hopefully, y'all can see that. Right.
Yeah, it's real clear.
Rough airplane. Now, the arrows going back over the skin of the airplane are the electrical. Is the electrical, right?
Right.
Is the electricity. It's an in. What did that? things say? Let me go ahead and get myself up here like that.
And
Asymmetrical capacitor.
okay.
Asymmetrical capacitor. And the tip is energized more than the skin. There's your asymmetry right there. There are two parts forming
Good
a
night,
capacitive
Sarah.
field. Bye, Sarah. Thanks for being here. Tim, get better, Tim. And yeah, you sleep too, Sarah.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to do when your spouse is in the hospital and working on stuff.
Yeah, I know Tim does a lot around their area too.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's a lot. And they live in, well, Coal Hill is not city. Okay. It's
It's
not
a
city.
little burg of a place.
Right. Okay, let me go ahead and again, let me bring up the brown Biefield effect or Biefield brown effect. And I'll just read a little more. See, a little more. Some say the Biefield brown effect could be used for interstellar and interplanetary missions. What they are leaving out is that they're using sorry, lots in my head, right? I'm going to bring
Yeah.
up this picture now.
Sort of like there's so much there you can't get it all out.
Yeah, and it's, oh, jeez, never mind. Let me just do this the hard way. I'll do it the hard way. I know this is me doing this. Such a horrible picture. Wish I could make it bigger. This is a neat, also an experiment you can do, right? Come on.
And we spent
Sharing.
most of the evening without internet. I expect somebody hit a pole.
This is from
So there
1964.
hasn't. It was a nice day out, albeit cold. Well, 70's cold for here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you figure that we just came off of 90-degree weather from last week before last.
I'm going to see if I can find a better picture of this. I'll leave this up for the moment. Biefield brown effect. I'm sorry, that's such a not
That's
such a
just
great picture.
my ex walking through.
Okay. Oh, this is much better. Let me just redo this picture so.
Okay. I'm blowing this up. There we go.
Okay. This is something that we can do at home. Hold on, I'm getting there. Oh, jeez, come on, you. What'd I forget to do? Biefield 3. Much better. Thank you, browser. I'm getting there. Much clearer. Much, much clearer. Now, this is something we can do at home. And this is kitchen stuff here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Except for the laptop power supply you will need. Okay. Now, what you can do is you can take copper or aluminum thread. Not thread. What am I talking about? Line, wire. Take copper or aluminum wire. Build yourself a wooden frame. You see the frame around the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Build yourself a light wooden frame. String it back and forth across it. It's one big ground, and then make it like a tennis racket. Okay.
Yeah.
And then over top, you put a like you see on the sides of this picture, okay?
Yeah.
One here and here. Let me just, I can go over to the picture of this. What is this? Okay. Can you see my mouse on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
If I blow it up. Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking at blowed up, folks.
All right. If you go to the right and the left corners where the beehive looking things are, by the way, those are
Mm-hmm. Yes.
high voltage insulators. You see a wire suspended above the top, and
Right.
it is just the wire. Okay. Now, over here on the right, you have the positive going into the wire over the top. It stops. You have the negative charged metal grid down here,
Mm-hmm.
and it is going to the negative side. Now, this thing says 15,000. You don't need 15,000.
No, please,
12
God,
volt
don't do that.
laptop power supply will do you. Okay. You do your laptop power supply. And you need to make this thing rigid. This is not something you want a deck of cards leaning together, right? You want to make this a rigid frame. And then when you plug it in, turn on whatever, you will notice it wants to raise up. It's freaking weird, cool science. Mm. This is something that you can do yourself. Now, this says February 4th, 1964,
Mm-hmm.
filed in 1958 by G.E. Hagen, called Flying Apparatus, patent number 6 sheets. I didn't see all 6 sheets on this search. I did see this one.
This is sheet number 1.
Right, this is like the cover page.
Mm-hmm.
And down here you see 115,000 volts, but that's like in the 50s. Everything was, it has to be like that. Great Scott. And over here you've got the resistor making it 48, I believe, ohm. I don't know. And then 40 and 42, those are ohms of resistance,
Thank you.
right? And these wires over here, I believe these are notations. But 40 and 42, they might be a notation for following sheets saying, explaining what each one of those parts are.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
what the dimensions are of them, how long, how wide.
Right, that would be on page 2 through 6, I guess. And
Likely.
I will go ahead.
That would be my guess what it is.
So you can build this, and you really just need a laptop power supply. Will do it because they're common and easy to come by. You can go to Target and buy one, Walmart, but you can do this with a 12-volt battery. You can do this with a car battery, and amperage is only taking what the device needs. It will only take what amperage it needs, and it will use, the voltage supplied is 12 volts, right? So I will go ahead and stop sharing that. So that is one desktop model you can do with the Biefield Brown effect.
Right.
To further that, the airplane, the negative is the body. The positive is the antenna.
That makes sense.
Those ions go from positive to negative. Okay, it flows to here. And now, one theory that has since been neutralized, right? And I helped neutralize it, was the ions drag bits of air along with it. But the ion gets reabsorbed, the air does not. And there's another ion behind it. Okay. Yep, that is the last. We're on the last page. I'm glad we did it with science. Okay, you have negative.
There are a bunch of dogs that think I got something here and they're wrong.
Then when it reaches the positive, O2. Okay. The negative ion is being attracted to the positive side of things, right?
Okay.
And the little O2s on here are attracted to the negative ions. But when the negative ion makes it to the other wire, the other antenna, well, the oxygen can't be put into the antenna, so it just gets pushed along with the other oxygen behind it, and it forms a stream of air.
So it just flies off of the airplane.
Well, it gets pushed off of the airplane by
Mm-hmm.
the oxygen following it.
Right.
Imagine a water wheel, right?
Right.
Okay, you got a wheel going through water. The water is pushing the wheel along. The wheel parts are attached to other wheel parts. The water keeps going, the wheel goes around.
Right.
Similar, but in the
Instead of
wheel,
water, it's air.
right? Instead of water. Now that is a massive oversimplification of it. Okay,
Oh yeah.
just saying. And oh, everybody left. Look at that, everybody left. I don't care. That's okay. I'm
It was too
liking it.
much for them, you think?
No, they're like, this guy
Oh,
doesn't know what he's
Rachel's
talking
still
about.
here.
Rachel's still here.
Aussie's still here. I don't know if Monty, are you still here?
I don't know.
I
It's
know
okay.
the storm is.
Yeah. Links
I
for
don't know
all
if
of this
Renee
stuff.
is.
Links for all of this will be in the show afterwards. Okay. So
Yeah. A lot of times people will finish it up or later, stuff like that too.
yeah.
Yeah, you should stick around for the second half, folks. It's another thing entirely. I guess is what we're trying to do, right, Nathan?
Something. We'll figure it out.
Oh boy.
I might talk more about window tinting or
The blind
or
leading the
something.
clueless.
I'm flying with ions here. My car is brown Biefield effect guided.
You got enough coffee?
I need more.
Yeah,
Where
well,
are we at?
we're at an hour, so
No wonder
time
I need
for a
more.
stretch.
Yep. Okay. Watch for ghosts. I'll be back.
Hi, Rachel. Hi, Renee. I hope you guys are doing good tonight. Good to see you too, Aussie. I don't know if Monty is still with us or not. Of course, everybody on Rumble. I expect Woo is still here, lurking in the shadows, and Human Jim is in. So we're still cooking along here a little bit. We were sorry not to make the show for Keith tonight. We've had some sort of cable interruption, and it lasted for a couple hours. So, unfortunately, I'm just one to figure, well, these things happen for a reason. What that reason is, not necessarily any of my business. Rachel made hot chocolate. Oh, that's cruel to do to me. I love hot chocolate. Enjoy that. You guys getting ready for Thanksgiving? I haven't seen another ghostly entity saunter through there since that first time. Sort of a different angle than before too. So we'll see. This is better than Bill Nye the Science Guy, huh? Yeah, I love that show. Oh my gosh, yeah. Let's see. Went out, saw a bunch of Christmas stuff in the store we were at, and I'm like, I gotta stop going shopping.
Alrighty then.
I've got most of my stuff ready to go. I like to shop early and get Christmas out of the way. We're kind of kicking around early Christmas shopping around here.
Mm,
Both
I'm
both
looking at the
Renee and
comments.
Rachel are here. Human Jim's here.
Yep.
Aussie Tiger's here.
We built Bill Nye. We beat
What?
Bill Nye. All right.
Yeah,
we
Bill
beat
Nye,
we
science
beat Bill
guy,
Nye.
awesome.
We're better than Bill Nye.
Oh boy, that's a tall order too.
You know what? That deserves this right here.
Let's hope to God that some kid doesn't see this stuff and try for it, huh?
This deserves this.
What are we doing? We're better than Bill Nye. Woof. Okay.
Better than Bill Nye. Love it.
Let's hope we don't get sued, huh?
No, hey, that's hey, call it opinion and artistic expression. You heard it here on the Quantum Show. We're better than Bill Nye. Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Human Jim said it. He said we're better than Bill Nye. I'm like, booyah! We beat Bill Nye.
Yeah.
We beat Bill
Damn
Nye.
Skippy. Some of the stuff we discuss, most people are like, kind of get that deer in the headlight look after a while, and they're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
hate having to dumb it down, though. I mean, I know I don't always get everything, but doggone.
I don't like dumbing down things either, but I
Of
don't
course,
want to
I'm
give
the one that blew out the windows in the science lab, too.
Well, I
I
don't want.
did. It happened.
Yeah, I've done similar things. Like I've never blown windows out. I might have
Oh, I was a
shook a
long
few
time
tables.
paying for that.
I might have shaken a few tables or something. I know I had a motor. I put power to a motor I was working on. I didn't realize it was a hot wire, and it went zoom off the table.
Ooh, yeah.
Wrecked what I was working with. I forget what I was doing. I think
Well,
I
an upperclassman gave me a formula for nitroglycerin,
was.
and being the sort that I am, I didn't believe it. Now I do, and the two of those windows went out just bigger than hell, and those are big windows. You know, they cost a fortune.
Yeah.
And the science teacher said, "What are you doing with that?" and threw it into the waste can. And of course, the percussion or concussion. I don't know how you say it.
Concussion.
Concussion of that.
Yeah.
When
Concussion.
boom, those windows just kind of fell out of their frame.
They were dumb anyway. Human Jim said it.
Yeah, there you go. Human Jim's right.
They were dumb windows anyway. What's the point of having a window?
I got expelled for like 3 or 4 days. I don't remember now. Got
Suspended.
expelled. I got expelled. I had to make my way back in the hard way. And
you had to re-enroll.
I had to be re-enrolled. My father was so mad at me. It was funny because there was nowhere else to send me to school. You know?
That was a harsh punishment.
Well, blowing up two $2,000 windows, and that was $2,000 at the time.
Well, that's price of learning.
Yeah, hey, what the hell here? You know, this is budding genius. What this, you know?
Yeah, that's just the price of science.
It didn't help. I was the only girl in there, and at that time, that wasn't unusual. Now it is. But I managed to get myself into that class and got thrown out the same day. That's doing
Mm,
something, eh?
I've never done that.
But
I'm I oh, love it.
I've done some naughty things in my life.
I look at my educational experience, and I used all the topics of all those things basically to make fun of everything. I used all the way from grade school, first, fourth, fifth grade to college. I was making fun of everything after I learned. I think that's ADD. I think that was ADD because I would pick up on the subject and I would learn it, and then I would use it as a language, and I would use it to make fun of people. I even I I was
Mm.
so bored in college.
That's the difference between being extraordinarily smart and not being. It really is
Well,
being able to repurpose what you're learning into
yeah.
something else.
What I did in college. Now you got to keep in mind, high school was kid thinking. I was I was a kid. In college, I'd already been through the army and I was a grown up, okay? And I was thinking like a grown up. So back when I was a kid, I was a class clown or a
Yeah,
troublemaker or something because I would get it, I would do whatever the assignment is, and I'd be done with it.
I
And
suppose that
then,
falls under troublemaking.
well, then I would start troublemaking. After that, I would get bored and start throwing shit. And hey, did you hear about what's her name? What's his name? Whatever, doing that kind of thing after I'd
Yeah.
already done the
This
work.
is typical of somebody who's too smart for what they're working with.
Well, I'm just gonna say I figured it out, did it, and was miles ahead of those guys, right? Those
Mhm.
guys. And I went ahead and did my own thing. And then in college, instead of doing something else, I used more of the topic. And I put a theme to my college classes because they were so boring. There were things, it was an associate's degree, straight up. I was bored because I already did all this stuff in high school, applied them in the military, literally, and now
Mhm.
it's having to get somebody else's piece of paper saying I know how to do these basic things.
Yeah.
So I themed them
It's
with
annoying as hell, and it's a scam. It really is.
yeah, I themed my college topics with mind control and subliminal messaging in advertising. Everybody thought I was a nutcase. It
No,
got
but that's
around.
exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it got around. I saw this. When did I go to college? It was 17, 15, 16, 17 years ago. Oh no, it's like 18 years ago.
Oh my God, you're getting
Wow.
old.
Yeah. I don't feel it. I'm still 30 up here.
Yeah. Oh well, get used to that because I'm still 30 up there too.
And okay, but I was known for the secret society guy on El Paso Community College campus in '03, '04, or whatever when I was
Uh huh.
there. It was so cool. Everybody knew what I was up to, and they heard my name and they were like, "Oh, it's the secret societies guy." Everything. Math, when I had to do a writing topic,
No, but it makes sense, and here you are today, and using that.
I've been doing that and I made fun of well, when I wasn't making fun of people, like social stuff, right? Not people you can meet, but like movie stars and stuff like that. Then I was
Well, they're free. They're free. Free game or what?
yeah, they're fair game. That's why
Shame on you.
low hanging fruit for like the younger mind, and I
No,
would
they
just make
are.
fun
They're
of people.
easy target. They
They're making
they, they
themselves
put
easier
themselves out there
every
as an
day.
easy. Yeah, yeah.
The
It's
first
easy, and it's
They seem
It's
to want to have an opinion on things they have nothing they know about because it's popular to
uh,
have an
if
opinion
you
on
always had a microphone in front of your face, you'd probably make up stuff. I know you.
me.
Yeah, you would. You would say, since yeah, there's rings around Jupiter. It's a conspiracy.
No, I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy. I would say
No, I
our
know.
base on Jupiter is a conspiracy. That's what I would say.
There you
Our
go.
hidden base, like the hidden base on the moon. It's not one of only one of them are ours. You heard it here. Only one of the bases on the moon are ours. The
Well,
rest of
you
them are
know,
not ours.
there's bound to be somebody else interested. It's a big
Yeah.
planet. It's enough for everybody.
Oh yeah. I mean, there we go back to ancient civilizations, and we're not the
Yeah,
only ones here. Ultra terrestrials.
I don't think we're the only ones here. Not by a long shot. Of course,
Mm-mm.
I kind of know that up close and personal.
Yeah, same. I've had my own exposure
It's
and my
what's
own
really strange about that
exposure.
though is you can go along with your life and suddenly realize, oh shit, I was taken by aliens. This is too bizarre even for me. You know?
Yep. And back to aliens. Though I do
Yeah.
want to say MH370 was not aliens. It was us, and we discovered some kind of technology we forgot about that we already knew. I'm going to say Atlantis, and they employed it, but society is not ready for it because if we had free energy right now, here's the deal, right?
Oh my.
Scarcity. I'm going to go over an Ashton Forbes topic that he covered on Hodge Twins and Amy's show. Scarcity. Scarcity and demand, supply and demand is what makes our society work. If
Yeah.
unfortunately, it shouldn't be
Well,
that
it's
way.
capitalism, that's what it
If
is.
right, if we had a Star Trek replicator, which we by all rights we should have those by now,
Oh yeah,
right?
we should.
And you could say computer Earl Grey tea hot. Well, how many industries is that disrupted? Okay,
A lot.
people
A
who
lot.
sell tea, people who sell cups, people who ship tea and cups. That's a tiny bit of the industry,
Well,
right?
yeah. Real
Now,
small.
right.
Not to
But
mention the entire grocery industry and the rest of it. Oh, the other bases belong to Starbucks and Family Dollar.
yeah, moon bases, right. And coming soon, Spirit
Oh, that's
Halloween.
good. You know what's sad about it? I kind of think he's right. You
Oh yeah.
know,
I know there's got to be a meme for this. Let me see here.
that is too hilarious. Still fighting a little bit with that laryngitis.
Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, thank you. I didn't say that for that, but I appreciate it.
Let me see. I'm gonna have to do this the hard way because it never is the easy way.
Yes. It just seems to want to go the hard way, doesn't it?
hmm But yeah, there is a meme for that, and here it comes. I gotta open it, open the folder, close these, close that. Boy, sorry y'all. Uh, dead air, of course.
Mhm.
There we go.
I can hum a few bars.
oh
I can't see it. Let me see about that. Coming soon, Dollar General.
yeah, and when this picture was taken, It's
Uh-huh.
probably already built. So thanks,
Yeah,
NASA.
really. Well, they have to have somewhere to stop off and to snack, you know?
Yeah. Thanks, NASA.
I mean, the astronauts have to have a place to get cigarettes and chocolate, you know?
That was cool.
That was a good one, human chimp. Thanks. Get
Oh, I
some
said
laughing
he
going
said
there.
Family Dollar. You know what? Back to the drawing board. He said
I think
Family
that was
Dollar.
close enough, don't you? Excuse me.
No one has made that meme yet. I think I will. I
Well, that'll
think I
be
will make that
fun.
meme. I will have to remember that to make that meme.
Jupiter and
And
a
Spirit Halloween,
Starbucks and Family Dollar.
and then Spirit Halloween.
Oh yeah, yeah. They always pop up like mushrooms after it rain, don't they?
And okay, I'm thinking about. I'm trying to go back, circle all the way back to MH370, but we're pretty past that now. That's okay. That's all right. The second half of the second hour, second part of the show, it's all good. Yeah. November 13th comes my birthday, new window tent, UAP hearing on Congress. I'm looking for that. Yeah, they're owned by Dollar Tree, so it counts. Okay. I'm looking forward to the Wednesday. That's Wednesday. This coming
Oh,
up
that's a
Wednesday.
nice. That's nice.
This coming up Wednesday is window tinting, and I even got it on my calendar here. UAP congressional hearing.
I'm excited about Wednesday for a kind of different reason.
Oh.
My bonus child, my stepdaughter, uh, has finally got a diagnosis for her for something that she's been looking for 20 years. That's not an exaggeration. It's been 20. And she finally got her diagnosis, and the 13th is her first treatment. So she's excited about it, and we're hoping that it will be helpful to her.
Well, whatever it is, I hope so too. Medical, not here. I
It's
don't want to know.
it's not a disease that's well known. We just won't go into it. But suffice it to say that the body, the ligaments in the body are not strong enough to hold the bones in place. Okay, and that
Mhm.
is extraordinarily painful. And this treatment is to help those ligaments become more strong. Hi, Intergalactic. Good to see you.
Hey, welcome back. Listening in bed, tired. I hear you. It's all good. He didn't say bed. Listening in,
No,
tired. Go to
listening
bed.
in, and he's
Listen in bed.
tired.
Go to bed. Listen in bed.
Yeah, listen in bed. That's always good.
This is
So,
the most uninteresting pillow talk you'll ever have, but that's okay.
that'll help you go to sleep faster. I don't know.
Aliens.
Anyway,
Aliens.
no, they are not demons.
Mm-mm. Aliens
No.
are not demons. I have that. I have that on a thing now.
Ah,
I have that on a thing now. Still not demons. I checked.
yeah, I've spent this week doctoring myself, and the of course the grocery day and all the rest of it.
Hmm.
It's been interesting. I've been keeping an eye out for people who are not necessarily from here, and
Hmm.
I think I did see one. There's not that
Oh,
much goes on here, though.
well, they don't want to be seen by the
No,
general
they
public
don't.
because we are under the protection of the, what do you call it? Prime directive.
consortium.
Right. Their prime directive for our
Right,
speak.
right. But yeah, I saw a fella I
Mhm.
thought might fall under the heading of not from here, but was one of those things where I saw them and then they were gone.
I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah. So
Nobody else
that
noticed.
came about. I was sitting in the car waiting on Storm to come out of a place. I was tired and he didn't want me to be stressed by it. And so I'm sitting there, kind of like, you know. But
Well, what did you see?
well, I saw a gentleman who was tall, not more than human tall, but he was tall, very, very, very thin. Not
Okay.
not your lanky basketball player, but just willowy,
Okay.
and had sort of a long face, and he had a great deal of hair, which seems odd because it made him look like a mushroom. And I saw him, and he saw me see him, and he looked at me, kind of like, "Oh shit," you know? Yeah. And I sort of, like avoided, one of those things where you're not supposed to see me.
Right. You get it.
I looked down next time I looked up right again because I knew, oh wait a minute, he did that to me. And I looked right back, he was gone.
Yep. He switched settings. Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna get out of here.
Really, really long hands.
Hmm.
Uh
That sounds like the one that.
Hands and long fingers.
Right. That sounds like one of the people that me and Tim saw. Tim.
Almost giantism.
Right.
But giantism is a this didn't feel that way.
Right. It didn't.
I've seen that plenty of times.
Right.
Wasn't the same.
Giantism. People are hurting with that. You
Oh
have
yes.
canes and you have they're slouched over real bad.
This guy
And
was standing up proud.
right.
He was
Like
he
they grew into it fitfully and healthily.
hmm
Not like the people who have
was
giantism.
strong. Could see he was strong. He was carrying a fairly good sized bag,
Right.
you know, and his hands. I didn't get to see his feet. I would have appreciated seeing that, but I didn't see his feet. And but his hands were extraordinarily large. Now he could have been a ball player. I don't know, and I could be misinterpreting what I saw, but he didn't strike me as being that young either.
Right.
He
Let
struck
me
me as being an older person.
right. Let me show what giantism normally means for regular humans, right? See
Right.
pain, see the feet are out of alignment. And when you look over here,
See, our guy would have been closer to this man's shoulder
okay,
in proportion. He wasn't as tall as this man was.
right. This is a giantism victim, I guess, trait
Mm,
haver. And notice
well,
the feet, right? They're
right.
out of alignment.
Yeah,
And
knees are monkeyed up, and
they're
he's
a little bit
suffering. You
low.
can see it.
Right. And this is giantism. Now, what we have seen is not that.
This is not the same guy, and he was solid. This is the guy we were just looking at. Is proportional,
Hmm.
not willowy. When I say willowy, I mean extraordinarily thin. Not undernourished. That did not strike me that way. He wasn't hollow cheeked or any of that.
I'm trying
He
to think.
was thin.
right. And what I'm looking at the Nordics because they're more tall and they're thin and they're willowy.
That's
But
what he
these
struck me as.
I'm finding, let me just show you the images I'm finding, and these are all AI generated, and AI don't know what it's looking at. These are not these are not what I was looking for, right?
No,
These are not what I was looking for. They no.
no,
Look at this guy. No, not Nordic.
no, not hardly.
Not that guy, right?
No, he's. See, when we look at somebody like that, he's muscular and he's solid. This person was like looking at all arms and legs.
Right,
Thin, not undernourished either, just thin. He had strength to him. He walked strong. He didn't
right,
walk fast. He walked strong. And like I said, he was there one moment and gone the next.
right.
And he
And
didn't get
that's
into
what
a car because the car didn't leave the parking lot.
yeah, that's literally what happened to all my sightings. The one at Kroger, I look around, gone. See him once,
Right.
gone. And then the the Comic Con in Indiana, look at him, find him, track him in the crowd for 10 seconds, gone. There's no
hmm
sign of them.
It's just
These,
something that they seem to know that you're looking at them.
yeah, they're very good at filtering out. The three I saw out there, and then the two
hmm
that I found, me and Tim saw, that they're really good at getting in your head. I mean, when she literally got this close to me, standing right in front of me,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like, and I
This guy
turned
didn't
around.
look like he wanted that kind of contact at all.
Yeah, he was he was observing. He was
hmm
observing. He was there on some kind of,
Like I say, he wasn't a young chap at all. He was probably in what we would term 30s or 40s.
and
You
I would
know,
rather meet a not human visitor than one of our own humans that have that tech because I know our humans. I would rather talk to aliens. I would rather talk to the aliens because,
well, you're likely to have a more intelligent conversation.
well, it's not going to be laden with fear and aliens or demons and all this stuff.
No,
It'll
none of
be,
that.
um, I since I've had my experiences, I've looked at other people's accounts, and they have all said very similar things. Like when it's an unfettered communication, right?
hmm
With nope, like I had no purpose. I was literally cold called them. I just reached out and somebody picked up the phone,
Right.
and they seemed to describe they were talking to them in a way and they didn't understand. Some of them said they understood the words, but they didn't understand what they meant by them. And
hmm
that's a lot when you're getting images and feelings and
And
etc.
it's so fast.
Right, and it's unfiltered.
Right.
To me,
Right.
it
And
was
it is like looking at an encyclopedia and flipping the pages. Just boom, 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 boom.
right,
Or Rolodex.
right, and they're all in order, but there's too much,
Yeah.
and it's more than just visual, like a movie, more than a movie. If it's raining in the picture, you're feeling rain. That's what was going on, but it was also
Yeah.
the compound eye thing where he was sending me all the hundreds of images, and his brain
Like
makes
you
sense,
didn't
but
know
his
which one to
mind didn't.
look at first
Right, and
or how to process it.
right, and once I figured that out, like a kaleidoscope, I was able to, in my own head, ima- get rid of all these other images and get one, and it was Keith's image. I was like,
Right.
there it is. That's him.
Yeah, no, and that's who helped me figure out uh what we had run into is what would come down as a Nord.
Hmm.
It's very tall, willowy individual, Yeah,
Jordan.
I guess that's right. Yeah, that's precisely right. I hadn't thought about it, but that's exactly what he put me in mind of. But the interaction, the conversation was images fast. This is what we're going to do. This is not going to harm you in any way. They're trying to tell me relax, and I was anything but relaxed. you know
Yeah.
I think they tried to make me relax, and well, is they found out what so many doctors have on this planet, I don't anesthetize very well.
Right. Oh, and I don't know. I have through observation. Okay, through observation that all I've looked at all the encounters that people have reported.
Hmm.
Okay, they reported just uh in the sky. I'm gonna make a chart right now. In the sky.
See, I didn't see anything except uh, what amounted to a beam of light, and I thought it was somebody who had crossed the uh, the highway and was headed for us head on. That
Hmm.
was precisely what I thought. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to die, you know? So that I had that fright to start with, and then wake up in the middle of God knows what.
Hmm.
So, and then of course, sitting in a chair that wasn't there, that was strange. I had the feeling of being supported, but there was nothing there.
Yep. Here's Earth. Can you read that?
Let me blow it up real quick here. Population abducted, contact visited. Yes.
Okay. Now that person was in the sky, right? I was like, nobody's gonna read my chicken scratch. So this is what we've got. What qualifies a person to be in any of these brackets or all of them or none of them? I don't know. I don't understand. But it seems like some of us see things in the sky. Some of us are taken, either returned or not. Some of us are contacted, and some of us are just visited.
Well, we had a sort of visit, I guess would be the right word for it. And I
Okay.
have no clue what this critter was. But asleep, woke up. I know I woke up because I got a drink of water, and my eyes detected movement at the bottom of the bed. There's this little dwarfy looking creature, big ears, big smile, waving hi. And I'm like, oh, good, I'm cracking up, you know? and I looked at him and I was just absolutely dumbfounded that he wasn't least bit mean looking or nothing, but I've been smiled at with somebody with a knife in their hand. So I'm not really impressed with that.
Your description rung a bell.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's a little dwarfy little creature. He's only like about, gosh, just slightly taller than a yardstick. And he's built solid. He looks like, I don't know. He looked healthy enough.
right,
I couldn't tell you what color his skin was. It was dark.
right. The
But
description you just said matched what was in Whitley Strieber's book Communion
oh,
in
really?
the movie. In the movie.
Oh, okay. But he had big smile wrinkles like this, almost clown-like, big eyes, and just as pleasant a little critter as you could hope for. And I'm
Mm.
like, why are you here? don't I have enough trouble on my hands? Because I just
Okay,
brought Storm home from the hospital
here
and
is
have
the
been looking after him.
here is the horror version of that, okay?
Oh,
Now this is one
it really
rendition.
wasn't horrific. Oh,
I know,
that's very similar.
right. The rest of this guy, he had large ears. Now, the picture is very low resolution, 1989 movie Communion, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was
His eyes were quite large, but there was more uh, white in his eyes.
right. This is the horror movie version.
Yeah,
Communion was a horror movie. Let me show
yeah,
you
but
just
he had very wide mouth like that.
right. Let me show you. Okay, here's. Let me just
Trying to think, there's a. I was awake. I actually got up and went to the bathroom after that. I mean, he disappeared, and I went to the bathroom. I said, "This is too weird, even for me." And
yeah. Let me
he just,
maximize that.
yeah, it's not quite him. His skin was a lot lighter because I could see him in the dark.
Right. Like I said, this is the horror movie version. It was meant to
Right.
be scary. What Stryber said was not this. This is what the producer said. I watched the little backstage thing talking about it,
Uh huh.
and he said, "Well, this is supposed to be scary, so let's make it scary, and we can make it. You were in a place where you couldn't see because it was what makes you not be able to see: fog, darkness, fog, light
Yeah.
in one source,
Yeah.
light at strange angles, and then what do these people look like? Described what you said, but then." Well, we have to make this seem scary. Let's make them squint. Let's make them so you can't. They look
Well, no,
just human enough.
the facial features are very similar.
Right. This
Um,
is the horror movie version.
this thing was smiling at me and had big smile
Mhm.
wrinkles. Like I'm little, don't hurt me. You know
Right.
that sort of thing. And I was like, I mustn't know. Wouldn't dream of harming another soul. Well, another soul. I not necessarily a human being, but he was almost clown-like.
Right.
Did
Well,
he was as cute as hell.
I
And
like
I
to
thought,
think that,
God, I'm just cracking up here.
right,
You
that
know?
I like to think that that is their way of putting us at ease and turning off our fear circuits so we don't freak out, you know?
No, he failed on that. I kind of freaked out anyway.
Yes,
And
in our
Storm
game.
was sound asleep, and he had been so sick that I wouldn't have woke him up for nothing, nobody. But
Yeah.
that's what this guy looked like. He had a little almost stocking cap on his head, and I didn't notice any hair or anything like that on him.
Right.
But he looked like a typical dwarf would, a little person. I understand, but little person, as
Mhm.
in that particular ailment,
Right.
the
Right. You
the
don't have
the
to
larger hands and that sort of thing.
right. We understand. We don't need our
Not a midget, not a
right.
midget
Our
is what I'm
people
trying to
don't need
say.
clarification for that
Right.
stuff. But let the muggles figure it out on their own. They can come back in
Okay.
the first hour if they want to figure that out. I gotta reach over here for a second.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll mind Aussie and say like and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum.
Okay. Another thing I want to say is when I had my experience in El Paso with
Hmm.
the breeding program, I'm just gonna say the breeding program from now on. because I don't
Okay.
want to explain it out. The breeding
Right. Well,
program,
it's upsetting enough.
I was not in an objective mindset. I was in a fugue state. I was like, just woke up, not waking up all the way, or not paying attention to something, and I was like not all there, and I was just following directions, and not much of me was being in control of it. You know what I
Kind of
mean?
a fog.
Kind of a fog. Like I was like under heavy meds, or
Yeah.
just woke up, or just about to go to sleep, and somebody could say something to me, and I would just be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And you know how somebody talks to you when you're barely awake, and you just say whatever, and you don't really know what you're saying. It could be from your dream. It could be from
Sure.
whatever.
Sure.
And they can ask you leading questions while I was following directions, right? And that's why events happen like they happened, because I was
Right.
just following. I was doing what I was told, and I didn't really have like not the choice, but the motivation to do anything
Comprehension.
else. No, no, no. The motivation to do
Uh,
anything else. I was.
yeah.
It's like they put commands in my head, and I was just doing what felt right,
Like,
and those commands
okay.
felt right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, "Oh, okay." Like, you lead a drunk person to a car. They
Right.
don't know any better. Is it your car? Is it a stranger's car? Are they
They don't
being
know.
abducted? Who knows, you
Yeah.
know?
It'll all be an adventure. Now let me go to sleep.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. And, but I keep wanting to go back to MH370, but I think we're done with that for now. 'Cause
Okay.
we're at the end of the second hour
Yeah,
anyway.
we sure are.
It's been a good
That
one.
went fast.
It was fun, for
I had
sure.
a good time.
I'm literally on my last page of volume 2. Ah,
Oh my gosh, you're gonna have to get another tablet.
started 8/24. Yeah, 4 months
My goodness.
or 3 months, sorry. And look,
Time sure has flown, hasn't it?
yeah, I've got the pack of them over here, so I'm gonna start a new one with a new sticker. But we're on the last page, and I need to make one diagram to close this one out. But I'm not gonna
Okay.
force it. If it comes up, it comes up.
Yeah. Then we're gonna say like and subscribe. If you're here, you're quantum.
Yes, thank you, Aussie. It knows how to manage me better than I do.
Well, he reminds us, and we appreciate it because we get going, and these little ideas of YouTube
Yeah.
kind of go by the wayside.
Yeah. Also, if now not required, but appreciated, if you want to help support the show, links to PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee are in the description. So if you want to, thank you. I just got another dash cam, a better one, in from show money, so I could keep observing. That's really what it's there for. Bigfoot and aliens. I don't care what happens, because if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and
Yeah.
they're gonna throw away my footage anyway in a court if I get into an accident. They don't care. They don't care about my Chinese webcam. But if there's an alien,
As long as
oh,
they
they'll
don't
care.
throw away Bigfoot, it's okay.
If I see aliens or Bigfoot, everybody's gonna care then.
Yeah, really.
I'm honestly, I want to, I want to get a buddy and drive to these haunted places like Fort Blunt. Oh man, that would be so
That
cool.
would be fun.
Fort Blunt is like it's just a. Let me just tell you. Let me bring it up here. Um,
I miss that part of the country.
there's nothing there now, right?
Hmm.
However, there used to be stuff there, and let me just share this.
Well, and I'm sure they still have the foundations and all that can be seen.
Maybe to a
Or is
couple
that
of them.
from the Revolutionary War, Nathan?
Fort Blunt. It was from before the Revolution. It
Oh,
was
okay. French and Indian War?
that, and yeah, everywhere. Fort Blunt Tales from Tennessee and Beyond. That's some something. Yeah, here we go. The pictures are so small. What's on the screen now? Okay, you are seeing what I'm seeing. Good.
Yes.
I will read. Fort Blunt. Now, the people in the east side, they call it Blount, but it's looks like Blunt, right? Fort Blunt
Mm-hmm.
was one of the Upper Cumberland's earliest outposts, built in 1788 along the Cumberland River. It was an
Mm-hmm.
important stop for both merchants and migrants alike. Those traveling on the Avery's Trace also stopped at the Fort Sampson Williams to granted the authority to operate the fort.
Mm.
Okay, at the fort. Period. Sampson Williams was granted the authority to operate the fort. The fort was named for William Blount, who was the governor of the Southwest Territory. See, it wasn't even an area; it was a territory.
Yeah,
The
it
fort
wasn't a state
included
yet.
the fort included a ferry service, blockhouse, tavern, and also contained army garrisons. Now, this is seven. Okay, by 1798, the fort closed, so it was there a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson County. 68. I'm just skimming.
Excuse
It
me.
doesn't say anything about the people who died there. This is just local history, nothing ghostly.
Yeah,
18.
but you know what? Something like that, being there for that length of time and for its purpose, should be quite haunted. Yeah.
Oh, it is haunted. Nobody can stand to stay there. Okay, I can't. I'm gonna leave it there. But I would love and
It'd be fun to
cemetery.
try, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I want to get my buddy Rocky, but he has such a life and all with family and people. He's got a Tesla with the screen in it that has the people detector. I want to go to the cemeteries and I want to go to Fort Blunt's right literally half an hour away, okay? 45 minutes away
That'd be
on
fun to
the
use as
interstate.
a ghost detector.
Right. And I want him to yeah, and that too. I want him to take us out. This guy's such a muggle. Love him to death, but he's such a muggle, okay? Every time I mention it, he goes, "I don't want to do that," and he actually gets scared looking. I'm like, "Dude, you're not in a movie. It's Freddy's not gonna get you. Just chill. You have a Tesla. Enjoy the feeling.
Oh, Lord. Oh, oh.
Enjoy the feeling that Elon gives you of owning a Tesla, all right?"
Yeah, really. I'd be more afraid of that than I would be of a ghost.
Yeah, and the people yeah, the people over there in that neck of the woods, they won't get out of their car. They avoid the area, and there's nothing there. It's a strip of highway going through something. The, but there's no people. There was a
There's
mass.
got to be a reason for them not to go there. There
Yeah,
has
it's
to be.
freaking haunted. The locals say the Indians cursed the land. That's what the
Well,
locals
more than
say.
likely they did.
Yeah, and
You know,
I would like to go out there and not get scared and run away like these ghost shows, but go there, get scared, gather evidence. Damn, that's why I want the robot.
robots
I
aren't going to sit there going, oh,
I
you
might
know.
drop my phone and run away, but the robot would just sit there and stare at it and maybe I don't know,
So what is
maybe
it
put
we're looking at here?
mhm.
Why is a human person running? You know.
I would love oh man. I did get the toy one on the way. It's still on the way. It might get here soon. I don't know. I'll show it when it gets
Oh,
here.
okay.
I just hope it's not tiny. I'll be really upset if it's tiny. If it's this big, that's okay.
It
But if it's
doesn't give you
tiny,
any dimensions?
nope. And I can't find any reviews for it. I'm gonna be doing a review over it. I'm gonna be
Okay.
doing a review over it because oh man, it's just something about robots and droids. It just it
Makes it,
pushes buttons,
yeah, it's
makes
fun.
gets me going. It gets me
Yeah,
going, you know. And the
it's
whole thing about
fun.
yeah, all the robots, the droids, the AI, and all of it, it just gets me going. I don't know why, but it gets my imagination going, gets my heart pumping for real. It just inspires and excites me. I don't know why. It's almost like something
Maybe,
that should be
maybe you're
diagnosed.
not from here either.
Mm, there's that. But yeah, it's just something about a robot at my beck and call that and then I put together, I love it.
Well,
Okay, and I gotta put that on the screen.
you have a pretty good chance of seeing them bring in robots that are just nearly human and
Yeah, I'm so not
able
though.
to fetch and carry and all the rest of it.
I want my robots to look like robots. I picked up another R2D2. I showed it. I showed it on a screenshot on Instagram. Um, I took a picture of it on Instagram. It, it's the same one of the ones that I have here. It's the same one,
Uh-huh.
but I want to customize it. But I want to wrap up. This has been the Quantum Show panel discussion with me and Lynn. It was a slow news week. I refuse to let politics run my life, and
Me either.
and I got aliens and MH370 to fall back on, and cryptids, and the whole of the quantum that I am little bit to understand. The little bit of brain I have can understand it. So that's it, everybody. I'm wrapping it up, man. It's been 2 hours.
Been a great show.
It was fun. I
You're
liked
here to
it.
quantum.
Yes, please keep it quantum. If you're here, you're quantum. I'm going to go ahead and start pushing buttons, everybody. Thanks. Y'all have a good rest of the weekend. Have a good Sunday. I'm going to work. Talk to you later. Keeping it quantum. Pushing buttons.
Good night, everyone.
Pushing buttons.